with those details. And viewers, now moving ahead, we are getting in some updates on the Unnao rape case. Fresh information coming in, the Supreme Court has set aside the Delhi High Court's order. Earlier, the High Court had granted bail to Kuldeep Singh Sengar, suspending his life sentence. Afterward, the Supreme Court had stayed the order on CBI's appeal. A bench of Chief Justice of India, Surya, Kant and Justice Joymalya Bagchi directed the Delhi High Court to decide the matter afresh within 3 months and clarified that the case should be decided without being influenced by the Supreme Court's decision to set aside the earlier order. They also asked High Court to reconsider issues including whether the former MLA could be treated as a public servant for prosecution under the POCSO Act. Sambhav Sharma is there with me, my colleague, to get us more updates on that. Sambhav, the Chief Justice-led bench is now ordering for the case to be decided without taking in mind the previous order of the Supreme Court where it stayed the verdict of life imprisonment to Sengar.
Well, absolutely. Here the Supreme Court has set aside Delhi High Court's order, which had suspended the life sentence of former MLA Kuldeep Singh Sengar in 2017 Unnao rape case. Now, earlier the top court had stayed the order, this particular order of the Delhi High Court, and now the Supreme Court has totally set aside this Delhi High Court's order, and now top court two-judge bench of Chief Justice of India Surya Kant and Justice Joymalya Bagchi has clarified that it has not expressed any opinion on the merits of the case and directed the High Court, the Delhi High Court, to make effort to decide the main appeal within 2 months. This is what is the latest from the Supreme Court, and also the two-judge bench of the top court said that several legal issues in the case require kind of detailed consideration. And if we talk about what transpired in the courtroom, in the court number 1, because Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, who appeared, has said that main conviction against Sengar is under the rape charges. And the Supreme Court has said that the High Court can pass a fresh order on suspension of sentence if appeal is not heard soon. So the top court two-judge bench has set aside Delhi High Court's order, which had earlier, you remember, a December 23rd order of the Delhi High Court, which suspended the life sentence of former MLA Kuldeep Singh Sengar in Unnao rape case. Later on, back then, Supreme Court had stayed the order, and now top court had set aside that particular order of the Delhi High Court.
Sambhav, also take us through any developments in the arguments in the case as of now.
Well, yes, absolutely. Yes, Solicitor General told the court that the main conviction against Sengar is under rape charges, and on the other hand, Kuldeep Singh Sengar's counsel has argued that he is in the position to show that the prosecutrix was not a minor, and said that the court would also have to consider whether an MLA qualifies as public servant in this particular case or not. But the top court has not commented anything on the merits as of now, and asked the Delhi High Court to consider the case and come up on the main appeal, because the matter is in the Delhi High Court, and asked the Delhi High Court to make effort to decide the main appeal within 2 months. So it is to be seen what the Delhi High Court says next. But as of now, the High Court's order of suspending the sentence of Kuldeep Sengar is set aside by the Supreme Court.
Let's also go across to women's rights activist Yogita Bhayana, who's joining me on this. Yogita, thanks very much for joining us. How do you react to the Supreme Court's latest observation on this, asking the High Court to reconsider the plea for suspension of life imprisonment for Kuldeep Singh in the rape case, Unnao rape case?
So I think it's a welcome move. Supreme Court being sensitive towards the victim and considering the plea of the victim, which we have been also supporting, and I think it was very much needed, and we were hoping that this will be the case, and it has gone back to High Court now for the reconsideration. I think it's coming from Supreme Court. I think now even High Court will be more considerate and sensitive, and at the same time will also be considering the the victim side of it, rather than giving him bail just without any solid consideration. So I think coming back from Supreme Court, it will make a lot of difference, and this will change the whole discourse where how justice should be considering the victims as well, not only that onus is always on the victim to prove that she was a victim. Now it will be other way around. At least the story has begun again, where the bail was given. From there to this journey, I think it's considerably remarkable.
All right, Ms. Bhayana, thank you very much for joining me on this. And with that, viewers, let me go across to my colleague Kuldeep Singh for the latest news coming in from Maharashtra.